Welcome to Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City for the final game of this three-game series between the Oakland Athletics and the Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody. Steve Physioc, Rex Hudler with you. The storyline today has to be about right-handed pitcher Ben Mazzaro. Here is a guy who was drafted by the Oakland Athletics, third round, 2005, out of Rutherford, New Jersey High School. Now he gets to pitch against the team that drafted him. What must he do to find success today?
Well, he's got to seize the moment. There's no question about that. With the fourth and fifth starters wide open with this Royals rotation, pitch with conviction. Every pitch could make it be your last one. You never know. But show those A's they made a mistake. He won 10 games for them in parts of 2 seasons and impress the Royals brass. Ned Yost is looking for a few good men, and maybe Vin can take that ball and run with it this afternoon.
That is your Kia pitching report. It's also K-State Day at the K. And as Bill Snyder would say, find a way to defend Cespedes. He's been hurting the Royals. Best deals on new Fords are at thoroughbredford.com. By Missouri Lottery. When you play, students win. And by your Kansas City Chevy dealer, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. When we come back, Joel Goldberg will talk about today's starting pitcher, Ben Mazzaro.
third-round pick in 2005 of the Oakland A's, now getting set to take on his former team. Joel Goldberg back at Kauffman Stadium. Most importantly, Vin tells me that he is just excited for the opportunity. The fact that it comes against the team that drafted him, maybe a little added incentive, but he says really it's like going up against a team that you don't know all that well, because there are only a few players left on this A's team that were teammates of his. Guys like Kurt Suzuki, Coco Crisp, and Jerry Blevins. For the most part, though, new faces and a team that he's trying to beat and take advantage of the opportunity. Vin Mazzaro throws the first pitch next. Steve and Rex have the call coming up.
Time Warner Cable, the official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. This is the final game of this three-game series. They have split the first two, with Kansas City winning on Friday night 2-0, losing yesterday to Oakland 9-3. Here's a look at the Oakland Athletics lineup. Cowgill will move into the one spot because of the injury to Weeks, who is available as a pinch hitter late. Pennington goes 2, then Reddick, Cespedes, Kaihue, Inge, Smith, Donaldson, and Rosales. And the Athletics having a lot of difficulty on offense. They are threatening the all-time Major League record for futility of 211 set by the Chicago White Sox in 1910. And of course, these years 1910, 1908 were before they outlawed the shine ball, the spit ball, the emery ball. But in '68, when the Yankees hit 214 as a team, the next year they would lower the mound. So this is something different for the Oakland Athletics. They're only hitting 209. And the young man who will face this lineup, Vin Mazzaro, once was an Oakland Athletic.
That's right. He'll have to contain his emotions a little bit. Whenever you face your former team, you kind of have a little extra incentive, but really for him, just pitch his game. And behind him, we're going to see a good outfield. Now, Dyson needs to focus a little bit more on little plays that are coming his way. No more boots by him. Now, Giovitella, Johnny, go ahead and take that spot. They're looking for a chance for you to get in there pretty regularly, so make sure that your defense is brushed up and you get a couple knocks. That'll help you getting in that lineup more.
Cowgill is the first batter he will face, and Colin takes ball one. Cowgill with a 5-game hit streak, 9 hits in his last 18 at bats. Mazzaro finds the outside corner with that good fastball, and he will go from the low 90s to about 94 miles an hour, but has a very good two-seamer that may go from 88 to 92. Our time and temperature is brought to you by the parking spot. And we do have an overcast day here at the K. Temperature a little less than yesterday when it was 76 degrees at first pitch. Our first pitch was what, 111.
Go ahead, Vin. Try to get the win and get the series here. Okay, sliders, you mentioned it, two-seamers, good changeup. Focus down in the zone, get ahead. Good pitch there. Ooh, man, he wants to stay right there all day long. Didn't get it. Keep your composure. Keep a nice tempo so the defense will stay behind you.
Veteran Tim Welke is calling balls and strikes. The 2-2 is swung on and lifted into center field. A base hit for Colin Cowgill, so he now has a 6-game hit streak going. Las Diaz is the first base umpire. Mike Everett at second base, and Paul Schreiber is at third.
Okay, reach out. That's good two-strike hitting there. He reached out and just slapped it out and found some daylight. You mentioned those runs they scored yesterday. That's more runs than they've scored in the last 2 weeks in one game.
They broke a 19-inning scoreless drought with a run in the first inning. Now Cliff Pennington, who has been in a major slide, 0 for his last 26, and he gets rewarded by moving from the 9th spot to the number 2, more so because of the injury to Weeks, and they want a little speed further up in the order.
Cowgill, he's an energy guy at first base. He's got a couple of stolen bases, but I guarantee you that Mazzaro, excuse me, is happy that Weeks isn't in that starting lineup, because that guy has been really tough in the 2 games against the Royals.
The Athletics came in at 24-30. They finally ended that 9-game losing streak. The 9-3 victory yesterday as they got to Luke Hochevar throughout his 4 2/3 innings. Scored 6 runs on Luke. And barely misses outside 2-1.
Sometimes managers will put a struggling hitter in that second spot to try to get him going, get some fastballs, especially if the guy ahead of you gets on base. And that's what they're doing. Pennington's, he's been hitting some balls pretty good, but he doesn't have any luck.
In the air, center field, long run for Dyson. Will he get there? Yes, he does.
Okay, nice jump by Dyson. Got a good jump on it. Was able to secure it right in front of the 410 mark in center field. It's a big yard here. Good focus, bring that out down, and now try to get their power hitter to hit into a double play and get out of this inning.
Josh Reddick, he had a big hit yesterday. Looked like Luke Hochevar might be able to get out of that 5th inning, but Reddick hit a double that drove in 2, and Luke then gave up base hits to the next 2 batters and knocked him out of the game. Reddick has been their main power threat this year, particularly when Cespedes, who's in the on-deck circle, was on the DL. Josh with 10 home runs alone in the month of May, which tied for 3rd in the American League. It's the first Athletic to hit 10 home runs in a month since Frank Thomas at 10 way back in September of 2006. 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, you know, if you look at this young man here, Josh Reddick, he doesn't look like a big strong guy that's going to be able to drive balls and hit home runs and be 6th in the league already early in the season in homers, but he gets his strength from his legs.
Back up the middle, Escobar gets it. They do not get the force at second base, but Esky with a marvelous stop. He tried to shuffle the ball to Gio Vitella, who was at second base.
Okay, excellent effort. Crowd likes it here, giving him a round of applause because that ball was scorched right by Mazzaro. Escobar was able to track it. Now you got to get one out for sure, so Gio's got to get to that base. He throws a little bit off, and he tried to catch it with his bare hand and just couldn't. That's a do or die tough play.
Yeah, if the throw's on target, they get the lead man. But now Cespedes, who had a season-high tying 3 hits yesterday in the Athletics' 9-3 victory. He's just come back from the disabled list where he had an injured left hand.
Well, that play Escobar just made was a brilliant play. Okay, he's going to make those. You don't expect those plays to be made. But when you do make plays like that, that really picks up the staff, and it's a great effort. He's a tremendous athlete. Very good shortstop skills. Kurt Suzuki, who's not in the lineup today. I was talking to him before the game. I said, Kurt, I dropped her. That's stupid hitting on your part to keep hitting to that shortstop. And he said, Hud, you're right. That was. I finally got one by him. But that shortstop is amazing. That guy, he's so athletic. He makes everything right at him. You cannot hit the ball to him if you want to get on base. So when your competition starts saying that about you, that's something.
Cespedes pops it up shallow center field. Dyson coming on and finally is there as Escobar was looking up, and it almost looked like he lost the baseball for a second, and then he looked out to center field and Dyson was coming in and under the ball and makes the catch.
You see it. Overcast sky. Sometimes that ball gets up in them clouds and can't pick it up. Airtight defense today. Nothing like we've been seeing here in order for these guys to win. They need to stay down and pitch to contact and use the defense.
The Royals have suffered 10 errors in their last 5 games. They've had 3 error games in that stretch. And now they'll face a left-handed batting Taihue. It's good power from the left side, and Mazara's going to have to try and calm him down. This is the second major league start for Mazara this year. His first was when he beat Texas 7-4, gave up 3 runs in 5 innings through 81 pitches. But Kansas City gave him a lot of offense early by scoring 4 in the first at Texas and 1 more in the second inning, and it seemed to settle Vin down.
Pena stepped out there in front of home plate to make sure in case they do try a little double steal, let those infielders know where he's going to throw the ball.
Just barely missing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Taihue had a big hit yesterday, that double off Tim Collins that plated the final run in the 5th inning. 4-run 5th by Oakland.
They're playing him on the pull side.
Mazzaro steps off. Calgill started the inning with a base hit up the middle. Pennington was robbed of a hit and a fine running catch into right center field by Dyson. Reddick reached on an infield hit, and Cespedes with a pop up to center. Two and one.
Hey, Vin needs to continue his focus, pick up his tempo just a little. Got him in trouble here in the first inning. First innings are really difficult for young and more mature pitchers out there trying to find their stuff. Don't let those hitters think that you're a little bit indecisive.
The 2-1 is swung on and missed. The count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Vin's last start was May 25th, so he's had a lot of rest in between, and that was down in the minor leagues. A no decision in a 2-1 Omaha victory over New Orleans, and he gave up just 1 run and 6 2/3 innings, did not walk a batter, and struck out 5.
That was a good slider he just threw there. That was perfectly located. He tried it again, and that's a good spot for him, a good pitch.
Now the runners will be going with 2 out and the count 3-2. Taihue has 3 home runs this year and 12 RBIs. but just 5 hits in his last 41 at bats.
He's going to want to hit here. He thinks he's going to get a good pitch by Mazzaro. Mazzaro's going to have to make sure he locates here. Get out of this inning.
Outside, ball 4. First walk by Mazzaro. Oakland will have the bases loaded with Brandon Inge coming up. Dave Island back from his daughter's graduation. He was in Florida the last 2 days. Here's that last pitch that barely missed outside. That's that sinking fastball that we saw Bartolo Colon throw it beautifully inside corner to left-handed batters.
Well, he's got him loaded up here, but he can still get out of the inning. There's no damage done yet.
Brandon Inge takes strike 1. Inge, a veteran, now 35 years of age.
Don't want to make a mistake with him, though. He's got 5 homers, and he has 2 grand slams this year.
Good point. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Brandon with 5 home runs this year. He started the season with the Detroit Tigers, but struggled mightily offensively, and they released him. He was signed by the Oakland Athletics, and then got injured. He's come off the disabled list. Ground ball short. This should do it. Escobar gets the force, and Mazzaro gets out of difficulty in the first inning. Here's a look at that Kansas City lineup. Gordon back in there, and it's his 6th straight start. This will be the 7th. Giavitello will bat second. Butler, Francoeur, Betancourt, Hosmer, Pena, Escobar, and Dyson. And on the mound, the left-hander from Saugus, California, Tommy Malone.
Now you see those splits, home game and road games. Now that's kind of hard to explain why, but you know, he has given up some runs on the road. By golly, go ahead and go for it. Just kind of like the same splits that the Royals have, winning on the road and winning at home here. But you can't explain it, but they got to get him. Okay, Cespedes back in center field. That's where he's most comfortable. But really, the important catcher today for them is going to be very important that you see Josh Donaldson. This is his first start of the year as a catcher and the first time he's ever caught Malone. So we'll have to keep an eye on Donaldson and Malone and see how they work with one another. Donaldson, of course, is going to be a challenge for his legs and getting in game action. He has been catching pitchers on the side, but once you get in a game, it's a totally different ball game.
Alex Gordon finds himself down in the count, 0-2. Tommy Malone leads American League rookies in innings pitched. He's also second in wins and 6th in strikeouts with 35.
Hey, he's a finesse lefty. He's got a pretty good fastball. He's not going to overpower anybody, but he cuts it. He runs it in on righties. He's got a curveball and a changeup. So he's going to throw a lot of changeups too. He's not afraid to throw changeups to left-handers as well. He's going to go lefties, righties, mix them up, try to keep the ball down. But he has good stuff.
1 ball and 2 strikes. He's the first A's rookie to have 6 wins by the end of May. Acquired in a trade with the Washington Nationals for Gio Gonzalez. That ball is roped down the line, foul.
Gordon much more comfortable in the leadoff spot, and he's responded. Last 6 games, I like what I'm seeing. He's making some adjustments. He's shortening up his swing. He's not trying to kill every ball. He understands that he does have some pop and he has some home runs in that bat, but you get the singles and the homers come.
Just barely outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Alex Gordon.
Now the Royals, they are 4-9 versus left-handed starters this year. Gordon, he's hitting just .210 with 1 homer off a lefty.
Again back to the screen, and Kansas City is a team only batting .245 against southpaws this year, but their power way down in that department. They've had 490 at bats against left-handed pitchers this year, and they only have 8 home runs.
2 of them by Mitch Meyer. He's on the pine for 9.
3-2. Malone had Gordon 0-2, and now has run the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
10 days ago, Gordon swings at that and he's heading back to the dugout. Now he's confident and he's seeing more pitches.
Good at bat by Alex Gordon. The Fan of the Game sweepstakes is going on now at Fiat of Olathe, and you could win a new Fiat 500 Pop. Finalists for the grand prize drawing will be announced on Fox Sports Kansas City in July. 1 fan will win the Fiat 500 Pop. Look for rules and enter now at Fiat of Olathe.
Nice plate appearance by Gordon.
And if you're a Royals fan, you're hoping that gets into the mind of Tommy Malone, who has struggled tremendously away from the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. Saw those numbers earlier, and Rex, I can't figure it out. A 6-run differential in ERA, under 1 at home, over 7 on the road.
Well, you can't explain them for whatever reasons. They happen, but I can't tell you, he doesn't get much run support. You know that.
Giavotella hits it in the air to the right side. Reddick will take care of Johnny for the first out.
This guy Malone's given up 2 or fewer runs in 3 of his last 4 starts, but he's only got 3 runs of support over the last 3 games. So, you know, you got to have runs to win.
And Malone will face a guy who's been really good against left-handed pitching this year. Unfortunately, Billy has not been swinging a good bat of late. Just 2 hits in his last 20 at bats. And Rex, he's swinging at pitches that he normally doesn't swing at.
Right, he's trying to swing his way out of his slump, and you know that's typical. No one stays in the tree the whole year. But he is confident, and all he is 1 big hit away from coming out of it. He's got 4 of those 7 homers.
Sometimes you have to come down from the tree simply to eat.
That's right. But you get a lefty out there that's going to give you something good to hit. It's a good way to get back in the groove.
Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Malone, 6 feet tall, was the Washington Nationals 10th round pick in 2008 at the University of Southern California. I told you about the Gonzalez deal with Washington, bringing him to Oakland. Gordon was thinking about going, but Donaldson was able to keep it in front of himself. So you just wonder, Rex, if Tommy Malone is calling more of his game because he really trusted Kurt Suzuki when Suzuki was behind the plate.
Well, we'll see as the game goes along. We'll watch him to see if he's shaken. But you know what? Donaldson's pretty much in the meetings with all these guys. They know what they can hit, what they can. He spent time with Kurt Suzuki. So I would expect Malone to stay on Donaldson's game plan.
There's a strike. But it's the trust. You remember you and I did a game. Jason Kendall was so respected by the Oakland pitchers that when he was injured, Suzuki took over, and even though Kurt had watched Jason try to call the same game, the trust wasn't there, and it seemed like the tempo of the pitchers was much different from working with the veteran Kendall. And there's a line drive base hit to left field. Gordon goes to second base and stops.
Well, of course they're not going to have any kind of trust right now. It's the first time they've worked together. So, you know, it's up to the Royals to take advantage of maybe a certain pitch that's called that you didn't think. But Billy Butler was ready for that inside fastball. And really, who cares if they don't have any trust with each other right now? The Royals want to continue to win series. That's what they've been doing on the road. And that's how they left the K. Their last homestand, they took 2 series in a row from some pretty good teams. So pay attention to detail and continue to get big hits. And speaking of those, they've been happening. 260 now their average is with runners in scoring position. Frenchie's been coming up in that area too. He's 220 now.
There is the Royals player of the month of May, Jeff Francoeur. His numbers awful in April, but outstanding in May. In the last 3 weeks even hotter. 229, no home runs in all of April. May has been a turnaround, and he was named the Royals player of the month recently.
Well, he's doing the right thing. He's looking for first pitch fastball. He just missed it. Wants to drive in a run or 2.
Donaldson blocks the plate well.
Change up, change up, change up. Hey, in hitters counts, that's what the Royals are going to see from Malone. Kind of pitches backwards a little bit, but see how you handle that as you spread out a little bit at the plate, balance yourself well, and just trust your hands. Look for the fastball and adjust with that to the changeup and other pitches with 2 strikes.
Way inside, 2-1. A walk to Gordon, a fly out by Giabatella. Butler single to left. Hitters count for Francoeur. A pop up to second base, and Rosales will take care of Frenchie. 2 outs. Field fly rule was on.
Okay, Kurt Suzuki, he's got an off day, but he almost got a bat sandwich right there, and that ball that bat that Frenchie just let go nearly hit him. The scramble to get out of the way.
2 outs for Yuniesky Betancourt. He's played well since coming off the disabled list with that right ankle problem. A couple of hits in this series. Both have driven in runs. In his first at bat since coming off the disabled list, he split the gap in right center field for a double. Royals would love to see that here.
Yeah, so you know, Betancourt's got some pop and he's got some confidence now.
Ball 1 strike. He hit 13 home runs last year for Milwaukee, has 1 this year, and it was right down that left field line. Barely cleared the wall.
2 out base hits hurt your opponents. Recently, Ned Yost said that they've been scoring more runs with 2 outs. And that's good. They have 2 out rallies. Those things hurt those guys, but they got to get a big hit early. In game 1, they scored 2 runs against Oakland in the first inning, and that held the rest of the game. They couldn't get any more. Get on board first.
3-1 is the count.
A good AB here so far. He's being selected. He's not swinging his pitches. If Betancourt would be swinging at those balls down off the plate, he'd ground it out to somebody. Now he's looking to hit.
Both pitchers struggling with their command early. Mazzaro threw 23 pitches in his first, and now Tommy Malone has thrown 24. Time called by Betancourt.
Okay,
it seemed like right there they weren't on the same page.
That's a little bit of stuff going on there. Yeah, well, it's the first time that they've worked together. We mentioned that, but
A strike in there. Betancourt thought it was ball 4, but the count is full 3-2.
Okay, so he's saying to himself, all right, okay, I still haven't swung yet in this at bat. I've seen these pitches here now. I got to get in the game here. You got to have a hit mode here now. If you're going to drive in runs, you can't walk them home.
Popped him up. A's lead 3 in their half of the first. Royals lead 2 on 4. Fans bring the kids to the game for every Family Fun Day Sunday to enjoy face painters, balloon artists, kids entertainment by Radio Disney, and much more. Sundays at the ballpark is your family destination. Go to Royals.com/Sunday for more information and tickets. Vin Mazzaro ready for his second inning of work. He hopes it's a little more efficient than the first when he loaded the bases. And that ball is slicing to left, and Gordon is right there to make the catch for out number 1. So that's a good start. Seth Smith is the first man out. The batter will be Josh Donaldson.
More times than not, you see after the first inning they settle in. They just start making their pitches and they're more relaxed because they've already gauged their pitches against the opponent's bats.
Donaldson this year recalled from the minor leagues on May 12th, and he's only hitting 170 in 15 games since. Now, most of those starts have come at third base, but once they acquired Brandon Inge, they were able to move him back behind the plate. The ball is pop foul, back and out of play.
Well, you know, it's hard to hit when you're in there every day, but when you get one start a week or 2 a week or a few at bats here or there, it's really difficult. But he's just trying to do the best he can, see the ball and put it in play. Hope for the best.
Line to right center field. That's a base hit for Josh Donaldson. He's on with 1 out.
Donaldson getting that start today as he played third base all spring, especially when their third baseman Sizemore got hurt. They started playing him at third base. That's why he hasn't caught very much.
Number 9 batter Adam Rosales. He is playing at second base because of the injury to Jemile Weeks. Weeks, their second baseman and their fastest player, injured his hip yesterday. There's a ground ball to Giavotella. Goes second 1. Escobar safe. With Donaldson coming in hard, Rex at second base kind of took a little oomph off the throw from Esky.
Well, Dawson's a hard ball player, but Esky, he's used to guys coming in there like that. Gio couldn't quite get the handle right away. He had to feel for it a little bit there. But look at the pick at first base. Hosmer, man, has he got skills. Look at this. He just olays it. He waves that glove out there. And he times it perfectly. He's got that front knee bent. Stays down low. He can time the hop. He's got skills.
2 outs now.
So that makes Escobar or any of the infielders feel comfortable that they can just wing it over there. And he's going to catch it.
Rosales does not have a steal this year, but he's only played in 7 games. First base coach Ty Waller just whispered something into his ear, and Mazzaro is set, ready with the 1-0 pitch to Colin Cowgill. In there, 1-1. Mazzaro was pounding the strike zone at AAA Omaha. He threw 47 innings and only walked 11. Struck out 39. And he had quality starts in 4 of his last 5. In there, 1-2.
If you're a starting pitcher, you'd love pitching against the A's. You want to go ahead and get out there and get after them. Make them put the ball in play. No free passes. Keep pitching ahead like he's doing here. Make these guys hit your pitch.
Oakland last in the major leagues in batting at 209. They've only scored 173 games, 173 runs in 53 games. The runner was going. The pitch is fouled back. Mazzaro at the pitch. It is a little bit outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Moving it to a 2-2 count now. Colin Cowgill single up the middle his first time up. They're giving him a lot of room in left center field. Good battle. Mazzaro's pitch count has climbed to 35. He threw 23 in the first inning, trying to get out of this one sooner. Cowgill, a fine player in college at Kentucky. He's 25 years of age. Outside, 3-2.
Okay, there's really no need in pitching these guys like they're Babe Ruth or Derek Jeter or somebody like that. Okay, don't try to be so fine. Just go out and throw some strikes down low. Get him out of there. Don't expend so many pitches. It looks to me like he's trying to nitpick up there.
Grounder, third. Betancourt gets his man. Very nicely done. Mazzaro gives him a base hit. Make sure he is left stranded. She's out of Olathe, Kansas. That's Kelly Fannenstiel. Began running as a pastime just 5 years ago. Over her short running career, Kelly has morphed from a newcomer to a mentor. In 2011, she competed in several races, including 2 marathons on consecutive weekends, as well as 3 half marathons in 10 days. And you can tell that she has some brain activity going on, because look at that T-shirt she wore. K-State, the Wildcats. Way to go.
Well, they know
an athlete and also a smart one.
They know what day it is here at the K to celebrate.
K-State Day, and here goes Hosmer deep to center field. Look at this. It is gone. A home run by Eric.
Oh, great sign. First at-bat of the afternoon. That's just a little sample of what this young man has left for you fans the rest of the season. He barreled that up, stayed right dead center over the 410 sign with a good compact stroke. Head was down on it. That's a perfect swing. Ooh.
1-0 Kansas City on Hosmer's 7th home run of the year. He now has 27 RBIs.
And that's just the 3rd home run. It's hit a home run off of Malone. The other two were Big Papi.
He does not allow southpaws to take him deep that often.
I meant as left-handers. He has allowed 5 home runs to righties. But just the 3rd one from a left-handed batter.
Brian Pena up. He takes outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pena getting the start. He played yesterday after Humberto Quintero was ejected for arguing balls and strikes with Paul Schreiber. Big swing and a miss on that off-speed pitch. Strike 3.
Well, whenever you see a ball that's struck well in center field, that's a perfect swing. Okay, even the home runs to the pull side or the opposite side, it's all about balance. Look at this short step. I noticed a short step there. He's not overstriding. His hand and head all have a nice little drawn balance right there through. You see the head position, but notice the front step. That's the key. He's been charging out there to the mound with that foot, and that's getting him off balance. So he had a short little stride, trusted his hands, and the rest came. Excellent stroke, young man.
He's hitting almost 340 the last couple of weeks of the season. Mixed in a couple of home runs in that time. Went a month without a big fly. And now he's hit 2 in the last 2 weeks, and Escobar will strike out against Malone here. So 2 Ks in the game for Tommy Malone, and both have come after the home run struck by Eric Hosmer.
Look at Moose. He's got a ball in his hand. He's flipping it up and down. He's staying cool and casual here on his off day today. He's saying, hey, that was pretty nice, bud.
Ned Yost told Joel Goldberg before the game that it will not be a total day off. And ever the optimist, Ned Yost said, when we have the lead in about the 6th, maybe 7th inning, Moose will be out there for defense at 3rd.
He'll be ready.
Corners are in with the speed of Dyson. He swings and misses, and the count moves to 1-1. Hue is the first baseman. 3rd baseman is Brandon Inge, who is outstanding against bunts defensively. Bunt try, but he bunts through, and it is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, if you're going to offer, you might as well go ahead and put it down, because now those corner fielders that you like to have in are backed up now. But if he can put that stroke together like he did yesterday, just lob a few out there to left field, he'll be golden.
He had 3 straight identical hits, little flares to left field, and that ended a 4-for-30 drought that he had been in, raising his batting average to 263. Low. Malone will always be around that strike zone. He's walked just 16 in 65 1/3 innings. Did walk Gordon in the first inning, but left him stranded. Now a full count after he had jumped in front of Gerard Dyson, 0-2. Malone has now thrown 42 pitches and not yet through the second.
Hey, speed guy, go ahead. Don't get called looking. Gosh, you got to be swinging there, man.
But the Royals take the early lead on Eric Hosmer's 7th home run of the year. A blast to dead center. With a home run, Kansas City has a 1-0 lead. Guess who threw out the first pitch before the game? You see the guy on the right side? That is Mark Simoneau. He was a linebacker at Kansas State and an All-American. And congratulations, Mark, because on May 15th, a young man from Smith Center, Kansas, is going into the College Football Hall of Fame. Way to go.
Thank you very much.
What has this experience been like? Not only today, you've got your Royals shirt on.
Yeah. I mean, it was awesome. This is a great experience coming out here when I was a little kid. I can remember with George Brett and Bo Jackson and all those guys going out on the field for like fan day, and it was just awesome to be out there today and be able to throw that ball.
Well, have a seat and we can sit down and watch this baseball game together and talk a little bit about your career, because you were an All-American linebacker at Kansas State, Defensive Player of the Year in 1999 for Coach Bill Snyder. But you're a guy who was born in Phillipsburg, Kansas, went to Smith Center High School. And to look back at where you came from and where you are now, it is remarkable to consider all the accolades that have come your way. Here's a ground ball. Giavatella has it. Great play.
Great play.
Because at first it was probably an honor. You were a running back, linebacker in high school. Here's a play again by Johnny. And that is one area they want to see his growth continue, and he robs Pennington of a base hit for the first out. But what was that like, going from a small town to Kansas State?
You know, it was like going to the big city. You know, Manhattan, Kansas was the big city, so it's always an adjustment, you know, to be able to go from high school to college, but maybe a little bit of an extra adjustment coming from a small town. But we'd had guys, Brooks Barta, my brother Jeff, that played at Kansas State, so you know, I had a chance to go down there a few times and get familiarized.
Josh Reddick is now the batter. Mark, you had an opportunity to work with and for one of the greatest coaches of all time, Bill Snyder, who took Kansas State from dark times to incredible success. What is the magic of Bill Snyder?
You know, I think it's just basic hard work. You know, he's someone who pays attention to detail. It's the little things. He knew that it wasn't going to take an ordinary effort to change things at Kansas State. So the hours he works, the things he demands from the players, what he demands from the coaches, all those things. It's just all tied together. It equals success. And for him to do it the first time was incredible, but for him to come back and do it in such a short time, the second time is even almost more amazing. So,
and he has done it again. Another terrific year for Kansas State. That ball is fouled off. As a matter of fact, I did the Kansas State-Kent State game this year, and I was talking to Coach Schneider, and he talked about the importance of making sure Kansas State kids stayed in Kansas.
Yeah.
And there is a core of Kansas kids like yourself who have a tremendous amount of, as they say, purple pride.
Oh, yeah, definitely so, and it is important because, just being from the state, you have a little bit of extra, I don't know if it's energy or whatever. It just means something a little bit more to you, I think, and to have those guys to kind of be on the team and to let them know that it's really important to the community, to the guys that are coming from out of state and those sort of things. It is important, and there's a lot of great talent in Kansas. It's small populations, but there's a lot of good football players here. There's a lot of guys that went on as walk-ons to be All-Americans and those things. So it is important to get those guys there.
There is only 2 Kansas State Wildcats who are in the College Football Hall of Fame. Gary Spaney is one. You're the other. Will Darren Sproles be the third?
I would think so.
I would think so too.
Yeah, there were a lot of great players during that era. I hope a lot of the guys. I know it's a select group, but I'm hoping that there'll be a few guys from that era that'll get in, and then Darren and guys like Terrence Newman. There's been a lot of guys that I think deserve to be in there.
Mazzero's pitch to Reddick is swung on and lifted foul. That will get out of play, and they'll try it again at 3-2. Talk to us about your day on May 15th when you got the phone call that you were going into the College Football Hall of Fame. What was that like?
Well, I didn't get a phone call. Actually, it was about 4 days prior. I got something in the mail, and it was just a box. And it said National Football, and then that was basically as far as I read. So I was assuming it was something from the National Football League, retirement. I don't know, something. So I opened it up, and there was a football in there that, had my name on there, and that I was going into the 2012 College Football Hall of Fame, and had a letter, a note in there, and then basically saying I couldn't say anything to anybody until they made the official announcement. So that was how I found out, and just kind of waiting for that day because you knew that you were going to get a lot of phone calls. And
that's remarkable because you'd think you'd get the phone call first that, hey, you're going to be getting an important shipment coming to your house.
I know. Be expecting it. So we got it. So that's good. That's good. So.
Well, Kansas State will be very strong again, and Reddick swings and lifts it foul again. This is quite a duel between Vin Mazzero and Josh Reddick. It is K-State Day at Kauffman Stadium this afternoon. The Royals have a 1-0 lead. Yesterday they paid honor to the old Kansas City A's team and gave away the 1960 hats. And the Athletics won that game 9-3. So Royals hoping to give their fans a victory on K-State Day because there's a lot of K-State Wildcat alumni in the Kansas City area. Josh Reddick will work the walk on a 13-pitch at bat. Well, I've got to ask you, Mark, right now you've got the Semino Sports Performance Program. That's what you're doing now after, 11 years in the NFL. Tell me about what your job is now.
Basically to help other kids reach their goals. It's about advancing. So, it could be a kid that's just wanting to play on the varsity or a JV, or somebody wants to get a Division I scholarship or any type of scholarship. So it's just it's something where I can try to teach some of the things that I learned during my career that helped me and help them advance to where they want to go. And it's fun. It's rewarding. It's fun to watch kids grow and work and see the results of hard work.
Because I remember checking out some of your numbers in your high school days. You ran a 10.8 100 meters. You had a 60-foot shot put, a 182 discus. That ball is struck in the air right side. Giovatello backing up and makes the catch for out number 2. So Johnny going out into shallow right field because both outfielders, Francoeur and Dyson, were playing extremely deep to the power hitting Cespedes. So Johnny had to get on his horse and take control himself, which he did, and he's made 2 fine plays. One in the ground out by Pennington, the other on Cespedes pop-up. And now Kaihua will come to the plate for the Oakland Athletics. And some of the numbers, you bench press 450 pounds. You have ran a 4.540, so you know what it takes to get to that, even though you're a linebacker, and those are staggering numbers for a linebacker.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say they're staggering for a professional linebacker. but you know, it's one of those things, if you want to play at that level, you have to be able to do those sort of things. You have to be able to run. You have to be strong. You have to be able to hit and hold up. So that's just part of the process to play, whether if you want to play at the college level or the professional level, is you have to prepare your body for what it demands.
And this might be a little bit of a recruiting message, but how did Bill Snyder and his staff help you reach your goal?
Well, they're never satisfied with where you are that day. Each game was critical. You know, every opponent we played, we always had the feeling that they could beat us if we didn't prepare our very best. And I think that's what it was. You know, you think about, you go in as a freshman. I redshirted as a freshman and then played after that. But you know, you do that every single day, and you have that mentality every single day for a 4 or 5 year period of time. The level of play you can get to during the end of your career, you know, you can't even imagine how the level you can get to. So you just string those days together, the time together, and that's where the success comes, and that's kind of the magic of Coach Snyder and the team.
And I thought it was interesting. He does get a lot of athletes from the state of Kansas, but also from Texas, from Florida. How is he able to meld those individuals? Because every single athlete has a bit of an ego, and he somehow gets them to leave it in the locker room and come together at practices and for the games.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you have to buy into the system regardless of where you're at, and if you don't, you won't be there, you know, or you're not going to want to be there. So that kind of takes care of itself.
Well, Mark, the inning is over, and our conversation is over as well. I'm going to let you just enjoy the ball game.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
Enjoyed it.
for
Thanks for having me up here.
K-State Day at the K. We'll be right back. Reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Steve Physiak, and I get my partner Rex Hudler back working with Joel, and it is K-State Day at the K. You see those KC caps in the purple and gray all throughout the ballpark. Alex Gordon will lead things off. Gordon today walked his first time up. The Royals have one run. That came on Eric Hosmer's 7th home run of the year. Pitch is swung on and lifted foul, out of play. Ball and a strike. And Mazzara picked a good time to get his first strikeout with a runner in scoring position to end the top of the third.
That guy who was just in here was a beast.
Yeah, he was quite a player. Over 400 tackles at Kansas State. And Rex, you know, we were talking about the fact that he could bench press 450, and he ran a 4.540, and he looked at me like that was nothing. He goes, a lot of pro linebackers run like that. I'm thinking, really?
Well, I'm telling you what.
Ooh. Gordon with a bolt to right center field. That will drop. Alex Hard around first base, going for second. He's got a good arm, and Gordon safe. That is his 16th double this year, moving him up in the top 10 in the American League, tying with Ryan Sweeney and Michael Brantley and Seager.
Stay on contact. There it was. Now that's a pitch he should pull. Yesterday when we saw him getting his hits, he was going to the opposite field. Good stroke. When he hit it, I knew they weren't going to get to it. Didn't know if it'd get to the wall, but because of his determination, he turned that into 2. And that's Reddick's got a great arm. He's got 5 outfield assists this year, so he challenged him.
Rex, I like what you said, his determination, because out of the box, he was thinking 2 immediately. And he challenged a very good arm in Reddick. Giavotella skies it in the air right side. Reddick over for a look and makes a tremendous catch. Gordon will tag and move to third, so it's like a sacrifice for Johnny. Tremendous play by Josh Reddick, though.
It's perfect. Look, you're trying to get the guy over anyway with a productive out. Now, Gio's not happy because he made such a great play up against the wall, but here's a guy here that's enjoying playing baseball, Reddick. That's an excellent play. Saving out right there. Never know what Gio would have done the next swing. He could have knocked him in, but this guy's enjoying his time as an Oakland A, getting an opportunity. Never was given to him when he was with the Red Sox.
Gordon getting dirty, and here's Billy Butler with the infield halfway. You have to think that the Royals might have the contact play on with 1 out.
Well, you may not even need the contact play if this guy can keep his focus right up the middle like Billy Butler. That's exactly where he likes to channel that ball. And they're playing halfway. They're not all the way in.
Now he's down at the count 0-2, and Billy has not come through in these situations in the last week. We told you he got a base hit his first time up, and that ended a 2-for-20 drought.
Okay, he missed his pitch right there. Now he's going to have to do a little 2-strike approach here, and we'll see if Malone looks like he's going to come in with a fastball here. Ooh, man. Little too close to be taken. 2 strikes, 1 out, runner at third base. You mentioned his batting average has come down a little, but also his average with runners in scoring position has been 320, 330 most of the year. Now it's down to 280, but you can't afford to take one looking with a runner out there.
Stays alive by fouling it off. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Okay, now yesterday he got called out on a pitch that was inside. Okay, it could have been a ball, but it was too close and they rung him up. And I think that they're trying to get him there again. And that last little curveball set that up. Maybe they'll try to come back in again on him.
Yep. Gordon at third with just 1 out.
Sure enough, here they're coming. They're coming back in there again.
2-2.
If they find a little hole in your swing, believe me, the next day they're going to try to do the same thing.
Butler doesn't have many holes in his swing, but he has stretched the strike zone a bit recently.
Get that runner home.
Billy swings and misses and strikes out, does not come through. So 4 strikeouts for Tommy Malone, and none at more critical time.
Okay, feed him some fastballs in, set up the breaking ball down in the dirt. And Billy's a little bit anxious, a little aggressive, and that was not his pitch.
Francoeur popped up his first time. Strike 1.
You know, the
Jeff
defense
didn't like the call.
Yeah, the defense is playing on the pull side. It's a borderline inside fastball pitch, and really for a lefty to throw a righty that pitch, it sets up the changeup a way to get him to roll it over. But they're playing him to pull, give it in the middle.
Again, he goes off speed, dropping all the way down to 81 miles an hour, and Francoeur swings and misses.
Infield's playing to pull, outfield straight up.
Tell you, this young man really knows how to pitch. He's been using both sides of the plate, changing speeds, keeping the Royals off balance. How about this? To center field. It is caught. It stays up for Cespedes. The Royals are turned back. They cannot get that run home from third with just one out.
Out here on the party deck with the Royals Alumni Fantasy Camp Reunion, and Royals great Dennis Leonard here with us. And I know you always enjoy a chance to get together with all these guys that you've coached over the years and competed with at Fantasy Camp back in February.
Oh, definitely. I think it's always a good thing that these guys, most of them, make it back for this game, and I think they're having a lot of fun up here and rooting on the Royals.
So how about the fun that you guys have? And I know I always enjoy talking to you and Willie Wilson and John Mayberry and all the guys over the years about what you're able to do at Fantasy Camp, because this is as much fun for you guys as it is the campers.
Well, definitely. Number one, we take enjoyment of the fact that they're having a lot of fun. But, you know, a lot of us don't get together in a clubhouse atmosphere very much anymore. And down there's about 18 or 20 of us, and, you know, bringing up old stories of the days we played. And I think right now they're getting exaggerated a little bit, but it's always fun to bring it up and get that group together and just go out there and help, you know, enjoy the fantasy camp.
The stories always get exaggerated, and I know that the campers love to hear George Brett tell his stories, and all of you guys too. But you coaches now get a little competitive with each other, I know.
Well, definitely. You know, like George, I think, won it last year, and I think that's the first time in fantasy camp history that George really had a team that was able to compete real well. And, you know, John Mayberry, myself, and Frank White usually coach a team, and we were fortunate enough to win it a couple of times. But everybody gets in there, and, you know, you want your team to win. I think there's that competitive spirit, but we all know it's a lot of fun that we go down there to, you know, just have fun with these guys.
I know I was able to do it in 2008, and I'm thankful for my coaches, Kevin Seitzer and Willie Wilson, because, you know, Seitz, maybe he's trying to help some guys break out of slumps, but it can't be as difficult as it was trying to get me to hit a baseball.
I was just wondering if you improved on your swing any, and, you know, if he's still helping you out now that you're around the ballpark every day. You know, you can get out here early, you can kind of work on your swing. We're expecting to see you back there with big improvement.
I just want to say that Seitz has more important things to deal with, so I am not bothering him on that. But Rex Hudler does have a question for Leo. So, Hud, what do you got?
Well, I just was downstairs before the game, and I saw all the campers in there, and it got me excited because these people love to play baseball. And there was a young lady in there that had her glove. She was the only one of the campers that had the glove. She told me she hit 385. She had her batting average calculated. And so it's open to women, too, isn't it?
It is open to men and to women. We had a woman on my team in 2008, and Hud was just talking about all the excitement down there with all the campers before the game and saying that there was a woman there that had her glove, and she was talking about batting 385 at fantasy camp. And so everybody, of course, likes to brag about it. It doesn't matter, man or woman.
No, it doesn't. This isn't the first time we had a woman, but Rosie, she was on our team this year, and she was a real trooper. Because you know how sometimes you get in the clubhouse, there's a few words that you don't really want to say around women, but she took it and gave it out. But we've had several women in the past. I know we had a father and a daughter come down, and then we had one guy that came down and was in the military, and the deal for him to come down was the next year his wife was going to come down. So, we can make arrangements for women. You're not going to change with the men. You got your own little separate clubhouse.
Final thing, this is a baseball question. I ask it to you every time, but I can't help it. 21 complete games in 77, 20 in 78. The major league leader last year was James Shields with 11. Do we ever see anything like that again?
Well, to be honest, Joel, right now I don't really see it happening. I think in baseball now, obviously, there's been kind of a change. I think there's more dependency on the bullpen than there was in the past. They got really specialized guys out there, and like the Royals bullpen is just doing a fantastic job this year. And I really think the starters sometimes, knowing that they're not going to be able to go that long, I think they gear themselves more for a 6 or 7 inning game and prepare for that, whereas when we played, we were preparing for 9 innings, and they had to drag us out of the game to get us out.
Leo, thanks. Always good to see you.
Joel, I appreciate being on.
That is Dennis Leonard. 21 complete games, Fizz, in 1977. Just for a little perspective, the last pitcher in baseball to have a 21 or more complete game season, Burt Blyleven in 1985.
That doesn't surprise me. Denny was one of the greatest pitchers of all time in Royals history. Rex and I were talking the other day about the major league record, pitching 6 innings or more. Think about that, and who holds the record? And Dennis Leonard was the Royals leader in that. By Panera Bread, 23 KC Metro locations and now open in Brookside. Visit us online at PaneraKansas.com. And by AT&T, the world's largest 4G network, AT&T Rethink Possible. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg with you from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Royals looking for just their 7th home win this year. Tommy Malone on the hill will face Unieski Betancourt here in inning number 4. Kansas City's run was provided by Eric Hosmer, a home run back in the 2nd inning. Royals had a great opportunity to make it 2-0, but with a man at third base, Butler struck out and Francoeur lined out. It's popped up, out of play, 1 ball and 1 strike. And parents, sign your kids up for Slugger's Blue Crew by U.S. Toy to be a part of the fun all year long. Members receive a batting practice jersey, backpack, water bottle, ticket vouchers, front of the line access for every Sunday fun run, and much more. Membership is just $20. Join now at Royals.com/Blue Crew or by going to U.S. Toy Store in Leawood, Kansas. Here's the pitch, and Betancourt skies it in the air, left side. Might be a play for the shortstop, and there is. Cliff Pennington with a nice running catch for out number 1. Eric Hosmer's the batter. Last time up, what did he do against Tommy? Check it out.
Short, compact swing with a nice short stride. Look at, he barely even picked up his foot. That kept his weight back and trusted his hands. Flexing muscles, and he should. He's got plenty of them. He has long, lean muscles. Good hitters and baseball players are more into the long muscles, not the short, bulky muscles.
Hosmer with his second hit of the game. Both of them well struck. One a home run, and now a line drive to right field.
Okay, if we can take a look at that swing again, let's look at that front foot, see if he's locked in. Okay, he's got a little bit of balance on that toe. He's just lifting it now. He's just barely lifting up his foot. He's not jumping out there with it. That's the adjustment he's making. The front foot, he just on his toe, turns, the hips and everything else have always been there, but that front step for hitters can really throw you off balance, especially when you're a little over aggressive and you're anxious and you want to hit like he's been wanting to all year. Now he looks like he's found out his front step is the adjustment he's been needing to make.
Hud, is that a quieter stance, less movement?
Yeah, he's not jumping. He was, for the first month and a half, he's been jumping at the ball and trying to go out and get it, and it's just a timing thing. So when you're a little bit more quiet with your lower half, like I mentioned, we'll keep watching his toe.
That reminded me, that his approach right there reminded me of Jimmy Edmonds, who played for the Angels and the St. Louis Cardinals and had a lot of success. Didn't stride that much. He even started with a wide stride. Ryan Pena is the switch hitting catcher. Malone definitely is a strike throw. He's walked 1 in this game. In his career in the minors, he only walked 84 in 517 innings. Tomorrow will be the college baseball draft, and this is how so many times scouts look for velocity instead of command. And when Malone was drafted out of USC, he was only drafted in the 10th round because of velocity. But he has made it to the bigs and found success because of where he throws the baseball.
It's all about command and location if you're pitching. Hard throwers are impressive because they get swing and misses a little bit more.
Is it tougher to judge a college pitcher or even a high school pitcher because you get so many cheap hits at the end of the aluminum bat or the handle? Because you see ERA at USC was not that impressive, 4.7.
No, you know, that was back then when the bats were a little bit more juiced. So college pitchers are now, the playing field has been leveled with the bats. They took the sting out of them, so they're not just getting as many homers, and that's going to help the ERA. But his ERA was a little bit high in college because of those bats.
Hosmer goes. The pitch is swung on and missed. Eric will steal second base successfully. Now he's in scoring position as Pena's the second out for Alcides Escobar.
Okay, good jump over there at first base. The ball's in the dirt. Donaldson couldn't handle it.
Our Toyota League leaders show that Escobar is up there in the top 20 in infield hits, stolen bases, doubles, and base hits. 56 base hits already for Alcides. This is a guy who really worked hard in the offseason to make himself a better hitter. Hit .254 in his initial campaign with KC last year.
Well, a lot of that is confidence. He has known he's the man. He's the shortstop. He's not going to go anywhere. No one's good enough to take his spot.
And that long-term contract.
Yeah, he's got him a contract, and now he belongs.
A flare to right, but it is picked off by the first baseman KCA, and that will do it for KC in the fourth. They still lead 1-0 going to the fifth. June 12th against the Milwaukee Brewers. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Homegrown Heroes themed t-shirt presented by Kia. Gates open at 5:30, so get there early. Go to Royals.com/T-shirt Tuesday or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. T-shirt Tuesday coming your way on the 12th of this month. Vin Mazzaro has thrown 4 shutout innings. Both of these teams have solid bullpens. Mazzaro has a 1-0 lead on Hosmer's home run to center field. Adam Rosales is the batter. He reached on a fielder's choice but was left stranded when Colin Cowgill grounded out. Royals have defended well in this game. A fine play by Gerard Dyson in right center field to rob Pennington of a hit, and 2 fine plays by second baseman Johnny Giavotella, robbing Pennington of a base hit and Seth Smith as well. And it certainly was not the case yesterday when they made 3 errors and lost 9-3. A walk to Rosales. Third walk of the game by Vin. Fans get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet. Tommy Malone's top velocity 91. Vin Mazzaro has touched 95, but he wants to be able to locate his pitches better right here as he's facing Colin Cowgill, who is singled and grounded out. Betancourt comes in on the edge of the grass at third, and Hosmer holding Rosales at first base. Strike one. Vin Mazzaro matching up against the team that chose him in the 3rd round of the 2005 Major League Baseball draft. Born in Hackensack, New Jersey, out of Rutherford High School.
Hey, well, this is something that could get into trouble when you lead off walk a guy. You put him on base. Now, you know, Oakland doesn't play a lot of small ball. However, they'd like to start getting back to it. This might be a situation where they might want to think about doing something here. Rosales hasn't stolen a base this year, but he's got adequate speed. Mazzaro takes a little bit of time getting home. Mike Gallego, the third base coach. That's who Cowgirl's looking at.
You got barrels, Cowgirl?
A little bit high, 2 balls and 1 strike.
There's Mike, heck of a ball player in his day. Middle infielder. Came up a utility guy, but ended up winning an everyday job with his steady play.
Fouled back, and that was up in the strike zone for Colin Cowgill. Now he played for Tony La Russa, and La Russa is one of those guys who likes guys who play the game right, and Mike Gallego is one of those.
He certainly was, and is now as an infield instructor. But Cowgill, man, he missed his pitch. That was right down the middle.
The Athletics have been much more aggressive this year than they have been in seasons past. The A's ranked 3rd in the American League in stolen bases, 44. Reddick ripped a bag off back in the 3rd inning. Athletics had a great opportunity in the 1st when they loaded the bases against Mazzaro. Brandon Inge grounded out. Blooper to right center field. That will drop. So the Athletics have runners on 1st and 2nd with nobody out here in the 5th inning.
Now, for sure, this is a situation where Pennington will be bunting. I mean, I would just imagine everything. He's been struggling with the bat. He had a sacrifice in yesterday's game.
But that would open up first base, and they might walk Josh Reddick.
Well, then you got Cespedes to back him up. There's not a whole lot of room to breathe when you have a 1-run lead. You play it by the book, the percentages are, or you're going to score a run by moving the runners.
Pennington gets the bunt down. It rolls foul for strike 1.
So you make the third baseman come in and field that. It opens up third easily for Rosales to go in there.
Pennington has just been in a major slump over his last 28.
So it's a perfect time for him to give himself up. Corners in, just get it out in the situation. That's all you're thinking defensively.
He does get it down. Betancourt throws him out at first base. The runners advance.
Nice play by Betancourt. Betancourt, a natural shortstop. He makes this play coming in barehanded, make it look easy with that natural throwing motion from underneath. Sidearm flip, perfect ball. Just get the out. Now you concentrate on Reddick.
Will they pitch around him, or will they intentionally walk him?
Why would you do that? It's too close a game right here. You want to go ahead and try to take your chances and get this guy out, strike him out. Maybe he hits it at one of the corners. Pop him up.
Left side. Alex with a basket catch. They're going to send the runner. His throw, a great one. Alex Gordon with a tremendous Gold Glove play.
take your chances with a defense like that, and he throws it off balance like a middle infielder. There's the third base skills coming in. Throws it off balance. A perfect toss. He is out.
Fans come on out to the Thursday home games to support Jeff Francoeur in his fan seating section. $21 gets you a seat in the right field cheering section, a limited edition Frenchie Quarter t-shirt, and Mardi Gras beads. Tickets at Royals.com/Frenchie. Steve Physioc, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg with you at Kauffman Stadium. Kansas City holding a 1-0 lead. Rex, I love great defense, and we just saw a play to end the fifth inning that was outstanding. Dyson to lead things off here in the bottom half of the fifth, and he takes strike one.
Yeah, we'll show it again when the man that wears the gold comes up.
Dyson chops one up the middle. They've got no chance to get Dyson, who has tremendous speed, and he is on for the first time. Well, here comes Gordon, and here comes our AT&T reverse replay.
Okay, now just when you think you've seen everything from the Gold Glove left fielder, here's something you haven't. Using his third base skills to throw off balance. Tough running play, catches it. Okay, make sure he has it. Then he has the awareness, off balance, throws off his right leg, from like he did when he played third, on the money honey. Big double play to keep the lead for Mazzaro. Pena takes the shot and holds it, saying, one heck of a play.
I could not just believe the accuracy of the throw by Alex. I mean, absolutely perfect to Pena's chest.
Okay, see, this is, you know, he has athletic skills. There's no question about it. Didn't even have to think about it, just kept, he followed the throw. That's why it was so accurate. He didn't stop. He followed his throw, and it took a perfect throw really to get him.
Dyson has to watch himself because Malone does have a good move. Gerard with a good lead, and again they go that way. Dyson with 8 steals in the season, one behind the team leader Alcides Escobar. Ned Yost moving his lineup around, going with speed, Escobar, Dyson,
All right,
8-9.
if you're Oakland, you want to trace the scene of the crime. There it was. His footprints right there. You see his footprints where he came to get that ball on the dead run, and then he followed it all the way home.
Gordon skies one to left center field. Cespedes under us. Dyson's tagging, and he will not go. Wisely.
Cespedes has a strong throwing arm.
They would have run on Coco Crisp. So Johnny Giavotella, fighting for more playing time, has a big moment here. He has turned in 2 marvelous defensive plays in this afternoon's game. But he's flied out twice to right field, although his last one was a very productive out that helped Gordon get to third. But the Royals did not score when Butler struck out and Francoeur lined out. He is quick home.
It's quick home, and also he knows that Giavotella has a good stroke to the opposite field. So if he's gonna keep feeding you in, go ahead and pull it by Inge at third base, who's in on the grass. He's gonna take a shot to right field, try to get Dyson to third base with 1 out. But if the pitcher's not giving you that ball out there and he's coming in on you, you think about pulling him.
Barely outside.
Fastballs in, changeups away.
These two teams split the first 2 games of this series. Kansas City winning 2-0 on Friday. Athletics yesterday 9-3. Dyson goes. The pitch is taken. Throw to second. Not nearly in time. That is stolen base number 9 for Dyson.
So believe me, if we know that it's Donaldson's first start behind the plate this year, so does Ned. They're going to go ahead and test him, and it's a good thing. Especially when you have a premium base stealer like Dyson. Rosales does a good job of just keeping the ball from going into the outfield, although Pennington was good on the backup.
Royals looking for a clutch base hit.
Now you see Rosales, the second baseman, he's given up a lot of ground to hold Dyson close. So hitters, you see that. Each time you step in the box, you look around and you can see that there's a huge hole on that right side. Gives you a change up, but they're going to come inside on it. Or try to. And whenever a base stealer gets in the back of the mind of a pitcher, especially a young pitcher, sometimes that's enough distraction to take away from the hitter, and the hitter can hurt you.
Giavotella drops one to left center. This will score Dyson. And Johnny comes through.
All right, he took advantage of an off-speed pitch that was up in the strike zone. Perfect. Didn't try to overswing it. Gave him something to hit. He just lofted it out there. That's a no-brainer for Dyson. That's why you make a mental note when you're on the bases to check out where the outfielders are. You can react on contact. There it was. Ball out over the plate, hits it off the end. Johnny knew immediately. You saw that smile come on his face. Yes.
Well, the Royals now send Giavotella, who's stolen as many as 26 bases in a season. I was down in the minor leagues at Class A Wilmington.
You've got to go. Had some success off Donaldson and Malone. Keep the pedal to the metal and stay out of a double play. And Billy Butler sometimes will hit into those, especially now he's swinging out of the zone a little bit. Billy's hit into 7 this year.
Rips that one to left field. Giavotella stops at second base. All 3 outfielders have great arms. Cowgill, Cespedes, and Josh Reddick. They lead the major leagues in assists this year with 12 as a trio.
Billy Butler knew that they were going to try to pitch him inside, so he was ready. He just reacted. He just threw his hands. It wasn't his home run swing. It was his make solid contact swing.
How do you expect them to pitch Jeff Francoeur now?
Very carefully, because things in innings are contagious. Hits are contagious. Base hits, confidence. And so Frenchie's going to be looking in for something. Change-ups away. Malone will try to get him on, but you got to be alive for that fastball. And Frenchie's been aggressive first pitches.
Even though the A's scored 9 runs yesterday, they're most in scoring a season-high 11 runs on May 11th versus Detroit. They're still batting just 186 with just 47 runs scored over the last 19 games. 2.5 runs per game. A big hit here, Rex, and all of a sudden that could really put some doubt in Oakland.
Frenchie's getting the start in that number 4 drive him in spot. Let's see if he can do that. Okay, he knew he was going to be hacking at that first pitch, so he changed up on him down low. Good pitch. Kid Malone has good mound presence. He doesn't look rattled. A lot of young guys will posture around on the mound a little bit. They look a little nervous, but not him. Now they're having some difficulties there getting on the same cadence, and it's expected the first time a battery team works together. This is kind of what they were talking about before the game. Is that I'm not sure what he wants in this situation, especially with the runner out there. What are we going to do with Frenchie? They're a little bit unsure how to pitch Frenchie.
Twice in his career, Jeff has knocked in over 100 runs, both with the Atlanta Braves in 2006 and 2007. And he chops this one up the middle. Could be 2, a 6, a 4, and a 3 double play. The Royals do score a run and a clutch base hit by Johnny Giavotella that scores Dyson to take a 2-0 lead. In the Power and Light District are hosting a Royals watch party presented by Miller Lite when the Royals play in St. Louis on June 16th. Activities start at noon with a special Saturday afternoon game time of 1:10. There will be free prizes, alumni autographs, and interactive games. Come downtown to the Power and Light District to cheer on your boys in blue. We head to the 6th. Kansas City leading 2-0, scoring a run in the second on Hosmer's home run. A run in the 5th on Giavotella's base hit that scored Dyson. Now Mazzaro will face hitters 4, 5, and 6, Cespedes, Kaihue, and Inge.
Okay, with the 90th pitch coming, try to just get through this inning however you can, because it'll be the pin to win for Vin. With the Royals starting pitching, 6 innings is a good start, especially shutting down the opponent. Just 4 hits.
Joe Goldberg was talking with Dennis Leonard about the time where pitchers were just expected to go as deep as they could, and Dennis Leonard had the Royal record for most consecutive starts going at least 6 innings. The 2-1 swung on, chopped up the middle, backhanded by Johnny Giavotella. Played good defense today.
Yep, make all the plays that you expect, as there's Dennis Leonard. He knew how important defense was behind him, and the record most consecutive starts of 6 innings or more.
Bob Gibson holds the all-time mark, and that went over a 3-year period where he went at least 6 innings in every single one of those starts. And Dennis has the Kansas City record with 33 straight 6 or more. I mean, that is getting it done. 21 complete games in 1 year.
Whew, man, that's a thing of the past, no question. But Dennis Leonard, thank goodness he never broke any of my bats. I want to face a guy like that.
You want those guys who, when you go out to the mound, you've got to literally rip the ball out of their hand to get them off the mound.
Well, plus they had good body language back then. He breathed fire. He was a guy that got on that mound and you could tell he meant business.
Giavotella deep at second. 2 outs. Time for our Sprint text question. Text 432-432 with Royals. And the question was starting all-star pitcher for the American League. You go with Yu Darvish, David Price, CC Sabathia, Justin Verlander. There's some argument for Derek Lowe, who's having a wonderful year for the Cleveland Indians, and Chris Sale. How about that kid from the White Sox who struck out 15 the other game?
Well, you know, any one of the names would work, but it's all going to depend on where their last start is going into that all-star break. I mean, you're not going to pitch a guy on 2 days rest or 3 days rest, depending on where he ends up, but they'll find somebody worthy.
Mazzaro gets the pop-up, bent court drifting in foul territory. And how about Mazzaro? 6 shutout innings against his old team.
Vin gives it to the pin to win. Get the series.
be over just yet. Fans, we want to let you know that the 6th is our Sonic Slam inning, and our contestant is Gayla Gibbons from Linwood, Kansas. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Gayla will win $600, but if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Gayla will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Unieski Betancourt will lead off the 6th inning. Betancourt may be 0 for 2 with a pair of pop-ups, Rex, but that play he made on the bunt I thought was a big moment in this game. Throwing out Cliff Pennington at first base. Tries to dump one to right field. Yes, he does. Time to ask our AT&T trivia question, and it is, who is the only retired manager to manage a team in an all-star game? We'll give you the answer later in the game.
Whoa. That's, I think, with Tony La Russa going to manage that National League team this year in his first year of retirement.
That's why we asked the question.
It's a good one, and I'm not sure.
Eric Hosmer, the batter, he is 2 for 2 in the game with a home run and a line single to right. So he is up that batting average to 215. He said he would not go back to the Mendoza line, below it. He got to 201, but then he has been getting some base hits since.
Well,
he had a good pitch there.
We discovered in his first at bat when he hit that home run over the 410 sign that his front foot is not even striding. He's just going up on that toe, and that's been the reason that he's able to keep his hands back and his body back and use them when the ball's over the hitting zone.
When we were in Baltimore, I talked to a couple of scouts, and I won't reveal their names because they didn't want it to, but they said they saw Eric last year and they thought, oh my gosh, this guy's going to be a monster. And they said, well, this year he looks a little busier. He had a real quiet approach last year when he hit 293 with 19 home runs, and it looks like he's gotten back to that quiet approach. Ball and 2 strikes.
You're not budging on that pitch there. He tried to get him to see if he'd swing at it. That front foot's keeping him locked in, keeping him closed. When you have quick hands, you don't have to go out and get to that ball in front of the plate. You wait till it gets across the plate, and then you use the whole field like this kid does so well when he's going.
Way upstairs, high and tight. Is that going to set up his breaking ball away from Eric Hosmer?
Absolutely. It's a little purpose pitch.
Good at bat by Eric, who is down in the count 0-2.
He's locked in. Foul away the borderline pitches till he gives you the cookie. Sometimes it takes guys longer than others to make the adjustment that they need to where they start feeling comfortable.
They get Betancourt picked off, and he is thrown out at second base.
If you're going to go on 3-2 with nobody out, you want to make sure that he goes home, because 3-2, if that ball's around the plate, Hosmer's going to be hitting it. So you don't want to give up an out there to a home run guy. Betancourt was just a little bit anxious there. Make sure he goes home before you leave.
Knocked down. Do they have a play? Safe!
All right, that hit a dead spot. Hit him right in the palm of the hand. Tried to recover. Looked like Malone didn't get his foot on the base. He missed. Yep, he missed the base, and then he went back to try to touch it with his toe to sell it to Laz Diaz, first base umpire, and Laz made the correct call.
So Hosmer on for the third time. A pair of hits now reaching on the error by Kaihue, and the batter will be Brian Pena. Brian has struck out twice in this game. Knocks that one towards third. They've got a chance at a double play, and they pull it off successfully. 5-4-3. We head to the 7th inning here at the K. 2-0 Kansas City. Royals baseball is brought to you by Steel. Find a helpful servicing Steel dealer near you. Visit steeldealers.com. By AT Uverse, the new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. And by the state of Missouri tobacco quit line. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg with you at the K. Here's our game summary. Hosmer went deep in the second. Giavotella knocked in a run in the fifth. The rest has been Vinny. And the Royals, 6 innings pitched, no earned runs allowed, and he has a chance to win his second start with KC after beating the Texas Rangers earlier this year, but he has pitched very well today. Our Chevy call to the bullpen brings on Kelvin Herrera. A strike thrown to Seth Smith.
Well, he's going to use that blazing fastball to get ahead, and then change ups to punch guys out. He's got a little slider to keep guys honest. He'll use.
Smith with very good power. Came over from the Colorado Rockies, where he hit 15 home runs last year. He's out of Jackson, Mississippi. Played for Ole Miss. He was the backup quarterback for Eli Manning. A star on the baseball team.
Well, he wasn't going to get a lot of playing time in football. He
Not with Eli.
Nope. He made the right decision staying in ball.
Three and one. Smith will be sitting on that heater. He has 4 home runs this year. Hits that one sharply, and Giavotella stays in front of it and throws him out.
Woo, there's a hot smash, and it's better on the short hop than on the long hop. Those balls that are hit at you like that have a chance to undress you. But he picked it, had plenty of time, stands up, says, let's get the out.
Well, getting that first out of the inning so important.
What a really good piece of hitting there by Seth Smith on a ball at 100 down below his knees.
There's Josh Donaldson, singled his first time up, struck out his last, and there is strike one thrown by Herrera. Calvin really moving into that 7th inning role right now. Royals with so many power arms with Broxton and Collins and Crow and Herrera and Holland, Mendoza. Harris is their left-handed specialist, and Lewis Coleman and Mendoza are the longmen right now. Calvin replaced Felipe Paulino in a similar situation with a 2-0 lead in the 7th inning on Friday night. Retired Kaihue, Inge, and Coco Crisp in order. And the appearance was his 24th of the year, which is the second most among major league relievers, rookie relievers.
No, he's special. You can use him anywhere you want in the pen. He's not a long man, but he's an all or nothing. Here it is. Fastball, changeup, good combination. The luxury that Ned Yost has in this pen, man, he's got some scud throwers, guys that can really put it out there. And with good off-speed pitches, too. It's just not all fastballs, hard heaters.
Betancourt. 2 outs. We asked a trivia question brought to you by AT earlier this afternoon. Who's the only retired manager to manage a team in an all-star game?
Well, there's Yogi, Casey Stengel, maybe Hauser, but I'm going to say it's never been done. I don't think it's been done.
John McGraw. 1933 National League All-Stars after retiring in 32. And Rex, I'm really surprised because you played for John McGraw in the 36 season.
Well, he was a tough manager to play for.
I remember working with Sparky Anderson, and he said, I don't care about that Connie Mack guy. He'd come to the ballpark, and he has the most wins of all time as a manager, but he said, he'd check in, write the lineup, and he'd head home in the 2nd inning. So he goes, I don't count Connie Mack. But he goes, John McGraw, that's the guy whose record I'm after. A base hit to left field with 2 outs by Adam Rosales. He's on for the 2nd time. We'll bring Colin Cowgill to the plate.
Hey, to hit that fastball like that, to pull it to the pull side, that's doing something. Rosales, he's telling Haas, he goes, man, you know, I'll take a hit like that. He came in last night to replace Jamal Weeks at second base. Got him a hit off a Crow.
Cowgill has been hot. He has 11 hits in his last 21 trips to the plate. All-American for the Kentucky Wildcats in college. You know, we were talking about Connie Mack a little bit, and earlier this afternoon we talked about the A's are threatening the all-time Major League Baseball record for futility. A team that hit 211, the White Sox, back in 1910. Ball struck to right. Francoeur is there, and he makes the catch, and Herrera with a shutout 7th inning. I can tell you about how Connie Mack fit into bad hitting when we come back. Division of Tourism. Go to visitmo.com to start planning your next Missouri getaway. Welcome to the Route 66 Drive-In Theater in Carthage. This is the last original drive-in theater named after the Mother Road, Route 66. The screen is 96 feet wide and 44 feet tall, making it one of the largest remaining outdoor screens in America. How about that?
In his 5+ years of service to the Kansas City community, Alex Gordon has dazzled with his talent, proven his character and work ethic, and demonstrated a will to win at all costs. Gordon stands poised to take the next step toward baseball immortality. Crown a Royal. Vote Alex Gordon to the 2012 All-Star Game in Kansas City.
There's Alex Gordon. How about a vote for him? He has had an outstanding defensive game with a tremendous double play that ended the 5th inning.
Shoot, are you kidding me? You might have to have a couple Miller Lights after you watch this guy play. Man, I thought we've seen it all. Now, his bat's been coming around, he's stealing, he's playing his game, but this play tops them all. He's from in left field, off balance, throws a strike to Pena, who takes a lick and then keeps on ticking. That was that end of the inning that gave Vin Mazzaro some confidence and allowed Vin to go on and help his team win. Good job, Gordon.
They still have to protect this 2-0 lead, and hopefully they'll add on here as we start the bottom of the 7th inning. Tommy Malone still in the game. He will face Alcides Escobar, Gerard Dyson, and Alex Gordon. This left-hander has really tied up the Royals this year. Escobar tries to bunt his way on.
Pretty good idea.
Royals certainly remember Malone, who shut them out in 8 innings back on April 9th. And Oakland won by a score of 1-0. They just haven't given him much runs. Just as an example, he pitched really well against the Yankees in his last start, but lost, even though he gave up just 2 runs in 6 2/3 innings, but was shut out.
Well, no wonder they love this kid. He looks really good. He's got good composure, excellent pitches, good command of all of them. And when your team only gets you 3 runs of support in your last 3 starts, you're not going to win games. But look, he needs to not worry about that, and I'm sure he doesn't. He's trying to get himself established.
He struck out 6, and we want you to follow the Royals with the MLB.com At Bat 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text At Bat to 31826 or visit Royals.com for details. 1 out for Gerard Dyson, who had a big base hit back in the 5th inning. And he will be robbed this time on a fine play by Cliff Pennington. But his opposite field approach is something that you've liked lately.
Yep, you got to time this jump here. It's all about the timing. He's able to get it. Go ahead and use the opposite field approach. It's working good for him. Stay with it.
Alex Gordon, the batter. He has walked, doubled, flied out. Strike 1. They say Gordon went, so he is down in the count, 0-2. Minnesota's coming to town next for a 3-game series. A couple of left-handers. KC will throw. Will Smith and Bruce Chen, followed by Felipe Paulino. Twins will counter with DeVries, Liriano, and Cabano. Told you KC just looking for their 7th home win of the year. They have a record of 6-18 at home, and that is the worst mark in baseball. Skied in the air, shallow center. Cespedes. A 1-2-3 7th inning for Tommy Malone.
Panera Bread takes us around the league, and we see New York beating Detroit and Justin Verlander, who had 4 walks on the day. Toronto all over Boston 5-1. Jose Bautista providing the offense. Tampa Bay 8-3 right now on top of Baltimore. Other scores around the league: Chicago 2 better than Seattle for now. Cleveland losing to Minnesota somewhat early on in that one. Texas and LA just underway. And interesting guys in that Boston game. Daniel Bard only gave up 1 hit, but he went an inning and 2/3, 1 hit, 5 earned runs, and 6 walks. Much better story here for Vin Mazzaro and the Royals.
No doubt about it, as Vinny gave the Royals 6 shutout innings. Yuniesky Betancourt will move to second base, and Mike Moustakas coming in to play third. We have our KC Chevy dealers called to the bullpen. Greg Holland, 17th game this year. ERA is coming down. It was rather high, but that was when he was injured. Tried to pitch through it. Rose placed him on the DL. Missed about 18 games. Came back, and his velocity and his command has improved every single time out. There is strike 1.
Yeah, he's, that ERA is not real important to Ned Yost. They know what he can do. It's all about coming out there executing for that short inning. And it'll take him a while to get his ERA down, because when you pitch just 1 inning, a shot, you're not going to get a lot of movement on that. But I'll tell you, he gets a lot of movement on that one. He got a good slider. He's got a split finger, fastball. We've mentioned, and I tell you, it never gets old when you have a special strength on your team to talk about that, and that is this bullpen. The pin is lights out. Now, they're only human, and they're going to have their moments. The biggest thing for Ned, I'm sure, is to continue to find some starters that can go 6 innings at least. Maybe 7 is a gift every once in a while, so you don't burn the pin later in the season. They're not burn out. But Ned says, hey, I'm looking to win games day to day. We're not developing this year. We're trying to win. And that home record that they have, that we talk about a lot, how it might be one of the worst in baseball, that's going to turn around too. If they can continue to focus day to day, get a win, get a series, they'll climb back to 500 there. But that, as well as their record.
That is, since returning from the shelf, he's allowed just 1 run in 7 2/3 innings.
Yeah, check that ERA out. That's exactly what they're looking at. Not his overall ERA.
He had the great location. Pena did not even move his glove. He was fouled off.
You're getting paid to be 20% good, by the way. I don't know if you know that or not.
Chili Davis, one of the best young hitting coaches in baseball, happens to be on a team that can use his knowledge and his skills of his long career, hitting 350 home runs as a switch hitter. He's in the top 5 in all of baseball for switch hitters. But he's working more the mental side of hitting. He hit 30 home runs as a Royal, and he told me every time I've talked to him the last 2 days, talks about how he used to take that ball for a drink, and he would send it in the fountains all the time. Opposite field, he said, Hud, I just went to the opposite field when I batted left-handed. He has that Billy Butler approach, and he was strong and he could react. You hit more from the left side because there's more righties. He talked about his fun time he had here at KC. That's the most home runs he hit in a season in his career.
Most people can do that on one leg.
Ground ball second. Betancourt drops the baseball. Well, the Royals made the move to go away from Giavotella, and Betancourt makes a critical error here in the 8th inning with his team leading by just 2 runs.
Yes, these are routine plays when you're flat-footed and you let the ball play you. Sometimes that happens, and that has got to stop. Look at him. He's just waiting for that ball to come get him. He lifted his glove. You want to be able to move. Yesterday, he didn't move to his left. He made a careless error. That will not play. He's better than that.
That is the Royals' 11th error in their last 6 games.
That is
now Reddick, their home run hitter, comes up and he rips one through the whole right side.
That is
wow.
Careless, and that's going to keep Giovitella out there. That error he made yesterday, it looked bad, but sure enough, it ended up worse. They scored 3 runs on that. After that, they would have gotten out of the inning and expended 22 pitches from Aaron Crow.
Now Greg Holland's going to have to bear down. Cespedes not going to be asked to bunt. He is their power hitter, hitting cleanup in this game. He had a season high tying 3 hits yesterday, but he is 0 for 3 in this one. And the Royals desperately need a ground ball struck at an infielder. Strike 1. Holland is definitely a strikeout pitcher.
Okay, that's his split finger. He throws it occasionally. It was a little bit up in the zone. Doesn't want that there on this guy.
Dyson gets Cespedes. 1 out. The Royals had Dyson played towards left center, so he had a long way to come. And when Cespedes took that big swing, Hud, he took a step back and only was able to recover because of his outstanding speed.
That's typical for an outfielder with a big hitter up.
So 1 big out, and Kila Kaihue will step to the plate. He has walked, struck out, grounded out. Kansas City with 2 runs on 8 hits. The Athletics with 0 on 6. Athletics have left 7 men on base. Ball 1.
Okay, off-speed pitches, sliders, maybe that split finger, those kind of pitches that move down are the ones that you usually get to roll over double play ball on. Kaihue's grounded into 5 this year.
They're playing him to pull. Escobar almost directly behind second base, a little bit over towards the left field side.
Here you go, 5-6.
The ball is struck to Alcides. He'll take the play himself and try and turn 2.
Yeah, and if Moose gets it at third base, Escobar will crash in there and he'll turn it.
Hosmer has it. 1 and done. Outstanding defense for Kansas City after making a mistake in the 8th. The Betancourt error does not hurt them. Here comes Moose. get the Royals out of a jam in that 8th inning. Chris Getz getting healthy. He likely would have been at second base if Chris was healthy this late in a game.
It's coming, but I'll tell you, you got a soft hands man over there at first base like Hosmer. Watch him get rid of it. He's got quick release, shuffles his feet, knows that Holland was over there covering first. So all he does is concentrate on getting that ball to Escobar quickly. And that is a huge play. Holland showed some relief there as he pounded his glove. And that's how you pick up one of your teammates after they miscue.
Andrew Kerrigan will take over for Oakland. You see his numbers this year. Rather high ERA. The Royals would love to get some runs against this Oakland team that has held them down to just 7 runs in 3 games. Oakland has very good pitching, but outside of that, they have not played well this year. I mean, dead last in the major leagues in batting. If the Royals shut them out, it will be the 11th time already this season they have been shut out. Mike Moustakas batting for the first time. He came on defensively in that 8th inning.
Kerrigan's going to pump some fastballs in there for Moose.
Trying to drop that one into left. Yes, indeed. And Moose is on.
Yeah. Go ahead. Take that defensive replacement and you get an AB in there to lead off and you doink one in there. That's a beautiful thing. Hitters absolutely love those. Pitchers, they can't stand them.
Billy Butler, the batter. He is 2 for 3 in this game. Both line singles to left field. Kerrigan brings it. Butler swings. Base hit left field.
Billy Butler says, all right, I'm tired of scuffling. I don't like to scuffle. I'm going to be aggressive. This guy Kerrigan's going to throw me a fastball early. I'm going to go ahead and get a base hit. He was ready. Ball's inside. Pulls it in that hole. That's his 3rd knock. Okay, Billy charging out. Uses his hands. He'll take it.
Time has been called, and Kurt Young has gone over to visit with Andrew Kerrigan. And Rex, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I mean, Jeff Francoeur is your number 4 hitter. But I watched Jeff in BP. He's a good bunter. The Royals would love to have at least 1 in this inning.
Yeah, but you can count on getting 3 out of your number 4 hitter if that's why they put him there. So they're not going to ask him to bunt. It's a pretty good thought, but not going to happen.
Mitch Meyer stays in the game, or comes in the game as a pinch runner for Billy Butler. That's why I just brought it up for conversation.
That's all right. I'm just telling you, from my side, no way you're going to ask your number 4 hitter to sacrifice bunt here.
He might surprise everybody if he did, because the first baseman, Kaihue, is playing way back at first. And I think they stepped off because they wanted to see if Frenchie would give away what he was going to do. And he didn't sell it. He just stayed put. He's swinging away, and it's low.
Yeah, Fizz, I don't know what you're thinking.
I'm having a conversation with you.
I'm telling you, there ain't no way you're going to ask your number 4 hitter to lay down a sacrifice bunt in the 8th inning with a 2-run lead. Ned Yost is hoping that Frenchie will take this ball for a drink.
That's why I was saying, I'm prefacing it by saying it's just conversation.
That's right. You know I'm a little emotional, but I'm not getting on your partner. I'm just telling you, there's no way. Frenchie, he's up there now. Kerrigan knows it, so he's being real careful. He's throwing some off-speed pitches. He knows that Frenchie's looking dead red, looking for a fastball he can drive.
And Kerrigan has fallen behind 2-0. 3 balls and no strikes.
Okay,
Why
better than
bunt
that?
when you might walk?
Better than that, why not let him swing 3-0?
Kerrigan fighting his control here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They do give him the green light. It is popped up into shallow right field, and the runner's unable to advance. It was just a suggestion.
Yeah, but Frenchie would be appalled if he heard your suggestion. But there it is. He's 3-0 hacking. That's a good pitch. He got it. He just couldn't quite barrel that to where he wanted it. But that was a good pitch on the inner half down low.
So now they're hoping Betancourt can come through with one out here in the 8th inning. Runners at first and second base. The Royals have really come through only one time in a clutch situation in this game, and that came in the 5th inning after Dyson had stolen second base and Gordon flied out. Johnny Giavotella came up and stroked a single to left center field, scoring Dyson easily. That gave KC a 2-0 advantage, but outside that they have left 5 runners on base.
That catch, or that block by Donaldson right there was pretty special. That ball bounced 4 feet in front of the plate. And in his first start of the year, this is the time of the game where your legs might get a little wobbly, but on this one, that ball bounced 4 feet in front of the dish. Donaldson does a nice job of keeping it in front of him.
Textbook.
Keeping it right where he wants it, so they won't advance on him.
Kansas City scored a run in the 2nd inning on Eric Hosmer's 7th home run of the year. They scored their 2nd run in the 5th on the Giavotella single. Hosmer waiting his turn on deck. Chance for 2, and they get it. The inning started so promising, but the inability to advance those runners results in an inning-ending double play.
Victory. Jeff Montgomery and I preparing for Boulevard Royals Live. We'll be talking about a lot of good Kansas City defense today. An impressive showing from Vin Mazzaro, and we will start to get you ready for a 3-game series against the Twins. Will Smith, Bruce Chen, and Felipe Paulino will be on the hill. And guys, I should tell you at least this. As far as the rotation in the future goes, people wondering about Jonathan Sanchez. Had that one good rehab start today in Omaha. 2 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 2 home runs. Not a good day for Sanchez, but Jonathan Broxton hoping for a good one here.
Thank you very much. And Broxton nailed down the 2-0 save on Friday, and he had a very impressive 9th inning, striking out Reddick Cespedes and then getting Kaihue to ground out to short. In this 9th inning, he will face Brandon Inge, Seth Smith, and Josh Donaldson. There's a base hit to right field. It has not been easy.
Well, it really never is. Since the last 3 outs of the game in a close game are the hardest 3 outs. That's why it takes a closer that has a good mound presence, who's tough mentally, and you know he's tough physically with the pitches, or he wouldn't be out there in the 9th to execute those. And Brox knows what to do. Just go ahead and pound the zone down low, and if they hit it, hope they hit it at somebody.
There's a power hitter in Seth Smith, batting 7th. Ball 1. Smith has flied out, been robbed of a hit, and a fine play by Johnny Giavotella at second base. Grounded out to Johnny in the 7th. Hit well, but foul. Don't throw that pitch again.
Yeah, and you don't even watch those. It's a long strike. That's all Pena's telling. That good fastball at 96, 97 on the outer part of the plate, or even on the inner part, a little bit in, can get the job done. But anything that's off speed and up like that, you're looking for trouble.
Smith was a power hitter in the Colorado organization. 15 home runs in 2009, 17 and 10. And then last year hit 15 more.
A little slider there, so you got him to top it, roll over.
Broxton has the count his way at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just did get a piece of it. So Smith stays alive as Broxton going for the strikeout here in the 9th inning.
Oh, Pena just couldn't hold on. Got him in the heel of the glove there. That would have been an out.
Hotel boy.
Ground ball second. Betancourt has it. Only play first base. They record the out. Moving to second on the play, Brandon Inge.
All right, so Bob Melvin's going to go with a pinch hitter here in Coco Crisp. See if he can provide a little something from the left side. His ball was topped. Betancourt, instead of taking a chance of turning and throwing and maybe missing his target at second base, take the sure out. That's what you need here in the 9th. Outs are premium right now. Get the out.
Going with the veteran over the young player, even though both have been struggling from the plate. Coco Crisp, only 5 hits in 41 at bats since coming back from the disabled list, where he had that inner ear infection, had a lot of dizziness, and he was placed in the disabled list. But the one thing that surprised me, because of his tenure in the big leagues, he does not have to accept a rehab assignment. So he turned that down and stayed with the club.
Well, he's got a tough situation here for sure. Hasn't had a pinch hit opportunity all year, and it's tough, especially when you're facing a closer.
Strike 1. You always say it's good to swing at the first pitch. Why? If you're a pinch hitter.
Get in the game. Gauge your swing on his pitch. And that was a good one to hit. Sooner you can do that, quicker you get in the game. taught to me by former Royal great Hal McRae when he was my hitting coach.
You're not Joe Morgan.
Second base. 2 outs. Inch to third.
All right, so why not try another hot hand off the bench, and it's Jamal Weeks is going to come in now. So good job by Brox. One more out, get the series. Start thinking about Minnesota, but not before this last out is made.
You're right about Weeks. He had been their hottest hitter coming into today's game, but then injured his hip yesterday. That's why he didn't get the start. But Bob Melvin told us that he would be available to pinch hit. Weeks yesterday was on base 3 times. 2 hits, 2 walks. So he's on base 4 times, I beg your pardon.
So you may not be too worried about his power, but with his just short swing and contact ability and speed, you know, he has a chance to knock in a run and then get on the base and steal around the bases. And depending on his hip and how he feels today.
He has struck out 31 times this year in 192 at bats. One ball, 1 strike.
Weeks hasn't had an opportunity to pinch hit either so far this year. Maybe one of the first times in his career. He didn't have a lot of time last year.
Two and one. They play Weeks straight up on the infield defensively. Dyson shading him slightly towards the left. Two, and it looked like Weeks was trying to tie the game with 1 swing of the bat. That's not his game.
Look, when you overswing like that, you're doing Broxton a favor.
Cespedes overswung on Friday, and Broxton worked him up in the strike zone with his fastball and struck him out with a 99-mile-an-hour heater. Crowd on their feet at the K.
Tell you what, these fans have been waiting a long time for a chance to root for a winning team. And they're behind this team and would like to see them get a few more home wins, and it's starting to happen. One more strike away from the first series.
Broxton has it. This should do it. Gives it to Hosmer. Game over. Johnny Giavotella with a key hit. Broxton nails down yet another save, number 13 this year. And Ned Yost gives the Royals a series victory over the Oakland A's. But as you said earlier this afternoon, Rex, you thought it was going to be Vin and the pin to win.
And that's exactly what happened. But let's not forget about